What if I told you weight loss is not about willpower, cutting carbs, or working harder in the gym, but instead comes down to flipping a specific switch in your body, one that helps flush out unnecessary calories? Heart surgeon and nutrition expert Dr. Stephen Gundry is revealing a new, simple, but insanely effective way to help get a slim, energized, and healthy body with no deprivation, restrictions, or fads. MCT Wellness can help you flip that switch yourself from the comfort of your own home. This powerful blend of fat-flushing MCT powders and antioxidant-rich polyphenols is designed to help you unlock your body's fat-burning, energy-producing potential. What's even better is that it's a delicious drink. All you do is add a scoop to water and enjoy. Help unlock your body's potential by going to GundryMD.com/energy and order right now to get up to 53% off your order with a 90-day money-back guarantee. Again, that's GUNDRYMD.com/energy.
In the charged air of a 1955 summer afternoon, in an ordinary neighborhood tucked away in Riverside, California, a group of young witnesses were thrown into the heart of an extraordinary series of events. Within moments, the skies were cleaved by an unnatural glow as multiple strange disc-shaped objects imposed themselves above the neighborhood. The air crackled with tension as eyewitnesses described not just the eerie craft, but humanoid figures maneuvering with purposeful intent, sparking widespread panic and fascination. These sightings, marked by their intensity and high volume of activity in such a short period, have since fueled speculation and theories ranging from extraterrestrial surveillance to interdimensional incursion. This case file, join the theorists as we crack open the chaotic case of suspected warp sorcery in the Casa Blanca UFO Event.
Welcome to Alien Theorists Theorizing Case File 337, the Casa Blanca entity. I'm Braden.
I'm Zell.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Andrew.
I'm Zolarius. My only costume, my own.
It's actually fitting for this case file because at one point I thought you popped in here and cast Magic Hand. So, or Mage Hand or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, you got. I can't see that alien's hands below your belt, which is weirding me out.
Giving you a reach around.
Yeah. He's just slowly deflating now, so he's just everyone's gonna see him just slowly.
Hope he falls over this way.
Yeah. I can like kind of squeeze some air back into him, but he's just dying. So that's my costume. If I kind of forgot I had the green screen. Yeah, I'm gonna walk around when Roman's an astronaut, and so that one is this guy.
That's cute.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a video of him because he's wearing like the flight suit. What's the fucking song by Steven Tyler and Aerosmith that played in Armageddon?
Don't want to miss a thing.
Oh yeah. So I was gonna get a video of him running in that, and then I was gonna slow mo it and don't want to miss. I can't even think how it goes.
Don't want to close.
Don't want to close my eyes.
I don't want to fall asleep because I miss you, baby.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
that's right.
That's the plan.
You should get him like a little. Make sure there's a little bit of oil on his flight suit.
Yeah, just a drill. I'll give him a drill.
Yeah, get him carrying on a drill too, maybe.
Yeah.
Is he an astronaut or is he an oil driller?
He's an oil. When people say that, I'm going to be like, actually, he's an oil driller.
They're one and the same.
He's a rigger.
Well, you can't say that.
Dan,
easy.
Of course. Whoa.
Dan just got to get. Dan's just got to
hard
get
R
his
there,
licks.
buddy.
On both sides of that word.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, double hard R.
Sorry.
Whoa.
Hard R.
Jeez.
What am I supposed to say,
We're
Riga?
already done. Double, quadruple, quintuple shadow band.
I didn't know it was offensive to them. Only they can say it.
Yeah, only they can say
It's
that's
it's
their
offensive
word.
to oil workers. All right.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
In general,
You
oil,
just turned the entire province of Alberta on us.
yeah, it's offensive to oil workers. All right.
All 17 of them.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like it's a sex worker. You can't call them the other word anymore. It's an oil worker. Right.
Lady of the night.
Well, you can say no. Lady of the night.
That could be a vampire lady.
Yeah. Lady of the
That
night.
could
can
spooky
be many
ladies of
things.
the night.
Too generic.
What are the kids going as? What are your kids going as?
Witch, dragon,
Rich
and a wizard.
Nice.
I'm going to be casting real fireballs too at people if they don't give us fucking candy.
Full size chocolate bars.
That's it.
Dude,
Not
I'm
settling
doing that.
for
I'm
anything
doing
else.
that this year. We bought a flat
Must be
of
nice.
we bought a flat of the pop.
Buddy, guy buys a house, gets extra large fucking chocolate.
He's gonna
What's
be
going
that
on?
house,
You selling?
yeah.
You slanging? You selling dope?
We only
What are you doing?
I did some
Feet pics?
canvassing. I did some canvassing in the neighborhood, and I heard I should expect between 20 to 30 people. So we
Not
bought
if
a
you have
flat.
full size chocolate bars. You're gonna have kids fucking doing loops and turning their costumes.
Yeah,
backwards.
changing masks, doing all that
I've been
shit.
there.
I'm
I've
gonna be
done it.
on it. I'm gonna be on it. I'll be like, yeah, get out of here.
Yeah, then your house is gonna get TP'd.
You damn kids.
No, and so that we're gonna go. You can choose a can of pop or a full chocolate bar. So it's not that. It's actually not that bad. Like not that because we're going to the dollar store and getting a couple.
You can't be
large.
giving kids fucking cans of pop. It's gonna be jingling around in their
Oh, fuck
bag.
yeah, buddy. Yeah, I can.
We-
All
giving these kids grenades.
crushed sodas, orange, grape.
Oh, that's
lime.
a good choice.
No, instantly, anytime I start listening to something, I turn into Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't. Grape. This is listen. This one could honestly, this case file we're talking about, this could be a Spielberg movie.
I'm not convinced that it isn't.
Yeah,
I swear
it
I've
has to
heard
be
of this
the inspiration of something.
I was like
It's pretty
looking.
nuts.
I was like looking for stuff, and then I came across the headline for when I was just pulling up different cases. The headline for this one was, "I have no fucking idea what to think." So that was like the headline, and I like read it, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on here?" I was like, "There's so much of everything going on in like a short window of time." Like, I think this whole incident takes place. It's like 2.5, 3 hours. All this stuff happens. We're talking head injuries.
Yeah,
fucking
it goes
guns,
0 to 100 real
runs.
fast.
Yeah, you're
like kind
whoa.
of starts out like you're just like your normal sighting, and I didn't know what to expect going into this, and I was just kind of reading. I was like, okay, there's just some sighting, and then it's full blown like what?
Like suicide attempts.
Basically-
You're like, what's going on?
The way this story goes, you think the first thing that would happen would be the head injury,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Like because it's fucking insane.
Yeah. All of a sudden, at the end of the story, you got Ralph Wiggum going head first.
Yeah, like it's got a CTE fever dream.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking wild.
So this event starts approximately around 2 p.m. on Sunday, August 22nd, 1955 in the Casa Blanca community, which is located in Riverside County, California. And so there was a group of children, and they said their ages were between 4 and 15. So I imagine it's just like the neighborhood kids all getting together.
Dude, they
And
don't
Latchkey kids, man. It's
Yeah.
the 50s. There's no such
know?
thing as molesters or
Oh, yeah.
scary people out there.
Well,
right?
dude,
Like,
the
Well,
scariest-
there were
the
latchkey
scary-
kids, like they were
the
all the
scary
moms were at
people-
home. Like,
Yeah. The scary
1955.
people out there were your parents in the house because they were all drinking.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're all
Because
jacked
you-
up on cocaine, Coca-Cola.
Mom's on Valium, dad's
Yeah,
wearing
yeah.
a fucking wife beater tucked into his
you go.
fucking slacks.
Can't wait
Oh,
for you to
yeah.
get home, actually.
Right? Belt. Like
You get home and the belts is snapping.
Yeah. Outside.
So all of them were outside, apparently, kind of, hanging out, playing, roughhousing, apparently in the back garden of what was the Douglas family. And one of the boys, Kermit Douglas of that household, apparently was.
Hey there.
Yeah.
Kermit.
Kermit the Frog here.
That's
good. Oh, that's good.
Dan just showed him up.
I watched a lot of Sesame Street when I was a kid.
Anytime you talk as Kermit Douglas, that's what I expect.
I can only do that because that's the thing I always heard when it was.
You can't say in a Kermit voice, "Oh, look at the lights up there."
No, I can't do it. It's only that. Because just watch a lot of Sesame Street and him doing the special reports.
Why are you seeing fucking Kermit on Sesame Street?
He was on the Kermit the Frog special
He's not on
report.
Sesame Street.
He was.
He's
He
on
was doing
fucking
Muppets,
he's,
baby.
He's a Muppet.
Muppets.
Yeah, but he was on Sesame Street. He would do the special reports. You can look it up.
What?
Kermit the Frog special report.
Dude, that must be some
be an
crazy
American
American thing.
Oh, must be.
Yeah, because for
Dude,
us,
up
it was
here, it's
two
rivals.
separate shows.
They're rivals. They
Yeah.
don't even talk.
I mean, no,
I think
it's like
they had
there would be-
crossovers for sure.
He would always do the special reports. I remember that. It would always be like,
Oh.
And
Someone
then,
else messaged me that I was 100% correct last case file too. It was Ninja Turtles 1 where Raphael's in the bathtub after he gets beat up by Casey Jones. Someone was like, tell Andrew to suck it. And I was like, I will.
Why are you telling me to suck it? That's rude.
Because you corrected me and incorrectly corrected me.
Yeah, but you were not confident in your answer at all. You
You weren't
quickly
either.
folded
I was-
and went with a different answer.
Yeah, it's hard to say because
Well, that's
Raph
what
gets
I-
his ass kicked in both of them.
That's what I do.
I think it's bullshit though. Raph should be able to beat Casey Jones's ass. That's garbage.
Yeah, Casey Jones is a punk.
He's a fucking punk ass bitch.
Him and his hockey stick.
Yeah, well, that's
like, come on.
good weapons. I like it. I am into it.
Louisville Slugger,
weapon.
like get bent.
So two of the boys, including Kermit, I guess, were
Was
wrestling.
Casey Jones homeless? Because those are just goof beaters he has. Now that I think about it, we see people walking around like Casey Jones all the time now. Was he homeless the whole time?
Dude, he put all his stuff in a golf bag, right?
Casey Jones was ahead of his time. He was ahead of his time.
What the hell?
He does. Like I'm thinking of the action figure, and it's like a vest with no shirt underneath,
He's homeless.
and like shitty sweatpants. They're like too short for him.
What, you gonna
Casey
wear your
Jo-
good,
and Chuck
you gonna wear your
Taylors.
good sweatpants to fight crime?
Casey,
Like, no,
Casey
they're
Jones
tore up. They're gonna
was
be-
the
It's a bum.
OG fentanyl addict.
Yeah.
I think he is the realistic superhero because he would not wear a nice costume to fight crime because you're like,
Here's the thing.
gonna get fucked up. Like,
Maybe Ninja Turtles is all from the perspective of Casey Jones. And he's just a fucking junkie that's high. Like, it's just,
He's beating up turtles in the street.
Turtles. They're like, stop, Casey. These are people. No, they're ninjas.
they're Ninja Turtles
The Foot Clan's after me.
swinging around a baseball bat.
that's a good-
Pretty sure I've seen that guy on the corner of fucking Hastings.
Oh, yeah, I've dealt with a couple of those guys.
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles 4, he just wakes up 30 years later. Coma. What have I done?
That's funny. Right.
Oh, that's great.
Call Eastman and Laird
Yeah, that's
now.
that's
Tell them
new.
we got
That's
an
a new
idea for
fan
the
theory.
next-
That'll be on Reddit tomorrow, if that's not already.
That's fucking
good.
good.
All right, so these
All right,
kids
so there's
are
an
playing
alien here
around. They're
somewhere.
fucking around.
yeah, so the kids are wrestling around, rolling around on the ground, I suppose. And Kermit looks up into the sky and he sees what is reported to be a large dome-like object in the sky above them, which isn't supposed to be there. And kind of looks. And when you guys like mentioned, head injuries, I'm like, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe he was just in a really like good headlock, and it's just kind of like
He's low on oxygen. He's been choked out.
Tight. Just
or like
just
the
before
other
he's
kid
about to
probably
tap.
had him like in a rear naked chokehold and was just like, and he's just like trying to tap out. He's like, look, because
He's a
I'm
little
not
bit
falling for that one.
cyanotic. Yeah.
It's like, he's trying to
He's
get the kid to stop
hypoxic.
looking
He's
at it.
seeing things.
So all the other kids kind of start looking where Kermit's indicating as well, and they all find this semi-transparent object which seems to be giving off its own light besides the sun, and like just kind of just hanging out up there. It's nothing that they recognize as something that's had been up there before, and with this one object suddenly becomes two objects as another one appears seemingly out of nowhere, accompanied by a loud.
Did the one object duplicate, or did just another one show up?
It said like another one appeared.
So
And
it just appeared.
the second object sometimes is described as popping in and like being more of a silver disc shaped in some of the reports. So it's just like there's now two objects that you can tell are different that are just in the sky, and these kids are just sitting there like, whoa.
Yeah, and as they're watching them, like as this, like the other object is like appearing, they remember and they describe this distinct musical sounding ping when they hear it, like a chime or something.
I kind of thought like when like an error code when you're trying to click something and you're not supposed to, it's like bing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Error.
Yeah.
Maybe that's like, maybe these are, hear me out, they're time traveling entities and they think they're coming into like our era because they know that sounds fucking terrifying. So we hear that fucking error code and we're like, fucking shit. Instantly strikes fear in everybody's hearts and everybody's frantic running around.
Like, these kids don't care.
Well, this would have been 1955 before Windows, so they wouldn't have known.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I'm saying they were trying,
They
they got their time wrong. They were time travelers.
Oh,
right. And they're like,
so as they're observing this object, like, you know, they kind of descriptions are like it's resembled something like a disc, like hovering on its side, like towards, facing towards these kids. And then it also appeared to be, at least in motion, somehow either spinning, either like the outside of it or, you know, the surrounding objects on the outside were spinning. And then there were these lines of light that seemed to be coming around the object, like this rotating structure that seemed to be on the outside of the object itself, which like the kids know is not normal. So it's like, you know, like in my head, it's some kind of, either it's gravity manipulation and it's bending light around these objects, because they said they're semi-transparent. So whether it's some kind of like
cloaking,
which is like,
that would make sense. That's
like,
a good point. So
it's bent, is, you know, as opposed to it's bending
similar
light
to this cape I have here.
If you're using, I mean,
I was wondering where you went.
if you're capable of like,
It's just been my eyes this whole time.
Yeah, it's a Horcrux.
I suppose if they're using some kind of wormhole generation technology, which kind of basically theory breaks it down into a fundamental manipulation of gravity, then I would say like you could also easily repurpose it into like a cloaking, or like additionally it could become a cloaking since you're just bending light around.
Well, if you think about the
structure.
like, if you think about some of the like various like alien and UFO reports, I mean, there has been some that like depict like entities being able to see them like glittery almost, or like you know, the Predator style is kind of often described, where it's like you can see the light around, and it's like if it's something like that. The only thing with that is the kids describe kind of a brilliant light in some of the reports. So it's like I think that would point to more of what you're saying, is like the light's actively bending around, you know, the craft more so than it being camouflaged.
I wonder if that sound too, that tone is like maybe them turning off the cloaking device, because it's weird that you hear it as they appear.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like maybe they were there in the sky the whole time.
Yeah, and then you hear the tone, and then you can see them. You know.
Yeah, what a terrible design.
Immediately announce.
Well, it's too late.
Yeah,
By the time it gets there, it's too fucking late.
Yeah, you're like, you know what? What do you want to do when we turn off the active camo? They're like, let everyone know where exactly we are.
Scare tactics.
Ba-dum.
When these, you know, within seconds of these kids, you know, staring at these objects and they're observing everything that's going on, they said like another kind of additional set of objects started appearing with these like round basketball looking objects started appearing, where these ones were actually varied in color. You had like what they describe red, the blues, oranges, but also mostly these were silvers. So whether these ones had either something additional objects that are part of these ships or something else, and they were kind of like going around the ships as well.
And when I heard that, like when I heard this and I read about it, the fact that these orbs were kind of like flashing in and out and appearing, and then also having like some sort of like ping as well when they were appearing and stuff, I started to think of this as, is this some sort of like they're trying to communicate, like these lights are trying to communicate with, you know, the kids or whoever's on the ground. Like that's kind of what I got from it. It seemed, you know, purposeful.
They're trying to communicate with the kids with the lights.
Yeah, or something. Or
Kids,
like,
check out these lights.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking run.
I think it also, to kind of, as it gets a little further, I think it kind of makes it apparent. So when the kids run in, visibly alarmed, and, thrown into a bit of a panic by these lights and these objects that are appearing and reappearing accompanied by the sound, they run to get some of their parents. And as the parents come out, when the parents come out, they don't see anything. Like, these things are gone, or the parents cannot see them. So part of me is like, is it some type of cloaking malfunction that, like, every time, but just happens to be when the parents come out, the things click it back on, and then they re-engage it, and it just, for that moment at least that the parents are out there, they can't see it. So I just imagine these parents, like, kids running in, screaming, something's up in the air, parents run outside, and just like, what the hell's going on? Like, these kids hopped up on goofballs. Like,
these kids probably the parents probably don't even go inside is the thing. They're probably like, yeah.
Sure, kid.
No, they pull one of these. They got
like, here's some cigarettes. Get out of here.
They got their drink. Fucking the three you guys would run in. Andrew's my kid, and I'd be like, oh, interesting, boys. Okay, excellent. Well, go back out inside. Let's play. It's fine. Andrew, can I see you for a second? And then you guys would go outside, and I'd be like, you come in here one more fucking time. That's it. You're grounded. It's getting smacked and shit. You're like, no. Go back out. They're like, the lights are back. Let's get your dad. You're like,
no. I don't see any lights. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
No lights.
No lights.
So, did you get smoke enough cigarettes today, or what? Like, did you smoke your cigarettes?
It's interesting though, because the big thing too is, like, it's going to come back. Like, they try to get their parents to come out like multiple times, right? And as this shit gets even crazier, and it makes you wonder. It's like, okay, so whatever this is, obviously parents, adults, whoever can't see it. And it made me wonder, I'm like, is this possibly something that's just like, you get into like paranormal, it's like, is this something that's playing on these kids' fear? Like,
it's
yeah. Like, and like the parents can't see it. And it's like, maybe because in the 50s, right? This is 55. We have a giant UFO flap. UFOs are popular, right? Like, maybe all these kids are terrified of UFOs.
Kelly Hopkinsville UFO, right? The little fucking goblins.
The goblins.
And maybe it's playing on those fears of these kids.
Maybe it's it could be something where it's like, I thought about this because we talked about cloaking, but if cloaking just being a physics thing, but what if it's also some kind of like telepathic thing where some kind of like psychic cloaking, that's where it's keyed to like a certain frequency? How kids, as you get older, like you lose
the veil
howling.
Spin. The veil
well,
spin
you start like for sound, like you hear frequencies, like you lose some of that
for sure
as you get older. So maybe this, the way that this cloaking works, it works both on the physical, where it's like light and whatever, they can bend it around there, but also on like a psychic level where it's
do you lose some rods and cones as you get old? Like, do kids see more vibrant colors?
You just get bad vision.
Yeah.
Not like that bad. I mean,
it's not like it's not like selective. Like, oh, you can't see this frequency of color anymore. It's just like, you just can't fucking see.
Like, reds aren't as red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would you know though?
How would you know? That's the age-old question. Everyone knows what red is, but are you seeing the same red?
Yeah.
You don't know.
I guess not if you're colorblind, right? Like,
well, no, if that's a good point, because if you were brought up in school and someone points to a color and they go, "This is red," and we all agree, we learn that's red. It could look all different to each. Yeah,
you're seeing green.
That's happened to me.
You're seeing green, but I see red.
I suffer from that fucking affliction because I'm not sure I really know the difference between yellow and orange.
Right.
Me and my wife get that fight all the time. She's like, that's fucking yellow. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's fucking orange.
You might be slightly colorblind. There's a bunch of different types of colorblindness, so you might just have one of those.
No, she's wrong.
She's fucking wrong, all right? She's fucking colorblind.
This is wrong.
How does that go?
This is what it is. All right?
That's an age-old fight. It never ends.
It's just, this is what it is. I'm right. She's wrong.
Yeah. Andrew's sleeping on his workout bench again. His choice. Mm-hmm. His choice.
It's comfortable. It's better back support. The bed's too soft.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's too warm in there. I gotta sleep out there. It's too hot in there. I gotta sleep out here where it's like freezing.
Better. Better.
It's better for the health. Better for the constitution.
These kids are trying to get the parents to come out Parents don't really care. They go back outside. These things reappear. They're flashing lights, pinging. One of the descriptions was that the saucer and stuff, which I thought was interesting, would like instantaneous flash from like point here to point B to point C. And I'm like, that's very similar to like what we see.
Point here to point there.
Point there,
C
points
to
around.
Point fucking
To point
45
B, up
to
there,
point fucking
cycles
30,
back.
Down,
Yeah.
circles back, comes
To
back around.
Alpha to Bravo. To,
Yeah, it's jumping ahead quadrants before we even know which ones.
Catching a cat point.
We've heard this before,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, but in more recent accounts with like the Nimitz and stuff. So it was kind of interesting that I'm like, these kids are describing this in 55. They're like, these things instantaneously travel, just boom to like the next point. That was interesting.
Yeah, but they're fucking like describing it through like deep breaths because they're out of breath and like snotty noses go. Like just you can just picture the kid is fucking going over there.
9 of them all at the same time. 6 of them in distress.
How old were these kids? Did we say how old they were?
4 to 15.
From 7 to 15.
4 to 15?
4 to
5 to
13.
15?
Oh, so
I
you got
heard 7 to 15.
the whole age range.
You can't listen to anything a 4-year-old says
No.
because it's 100% lie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those things didn't happen. My kid's just starting to tell the truth.
my kid, she's just starting to lie profusely.
Yeah.
About
And
everything.
they don't stop.
About fucking everything.
Yeah, they don't. It doesn't stop.
It's kind of funny.
So one of the objects that they described as being one of the more brightly colored objects appeared to actually now land in a football field about half a block away from where the children were actually observing the objects, or where they began observing the objects. And one of the witnesses apparently described this giant orb-like craft as being, I mean, their size was saying like it's the size of like 3 houses put together.
Yeah, but that's like 1955 houses. That's like it's like a half a house now.
It's like this garage right here. Yeah,
Yeah, but hold on. Does it include the yard?
that's
It's
true.
like we don't have those anymore.
Yeah, the yards
Oh,
were 10
yeah,
times
yeah.
They don't
bigger.
exist, right? Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, house is bigger, yard smaller.
yeah.
From what they could see, like this craft, it didn't touch the ground. It actually just hovered, and what they said about like maybe 3 feet off the ground, and just kind of just hung there. And I mean, they didn't describe as any sound or anything, any type of like propulsion or movement of like the grass or anything. You just have this object just hovering there above like closer to the ground.
It's
on the,
described as
football field.
stunning, and like so much so that they felt drawn to it, and like they just were almost entranced by it.
Well, they're
And it's-
hypnotized by it.
Well,
That's
and
what I got from it. Like it's
Yeah.
weird. It's drawn. Like these kids should be shitting their pants, right?
Yeah.
Not being drawn to it. Like you think it would have the complete opposite, like a paradoxical effect for some reason.
Yeah, you'd think they'd all run inside their house and just
Totally.
like, hide under the couch or.
But I mean,
bed,
but
whatever.
everybody knows like dad's scarier than the fucking aliens.
Yeah,
Just keep
you're
it
like,
away
we're
from
not going back in there.
It's like Don Draper's already like 6 beers deep. You're like,
Yeah, yeah. He's like,
So
you
now-
come in here with that nonsense one more time, your mother's gonna get it.
send you to the moon. So you've got the you got this craft landing down like right above this football field where the kids are familiar with. But then I guess a few of the boys now claimed that not only do you have this ship craft landing over into the football field that obviously is like, yeah, this is bizarre, and if it's not bizarre enough, they said that they saw what they described as some kind of translucent being, like this semi-transparent
Sully.
person-ish humanoid figure.
More or less translucent than Zell.
Close cousin, perhaps.
Perhaps.
I don't know.
Wait.
When they say it, I was like, I always think of like a jellyfish because I'm always just like,
Oh,
Is that what you're calling me
kinda
now?
clear.
No, I've never been
Yeah,
called jellyfish
it's
before.
jellyfish.
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 Boys, I still have my summer tan. Check that out.
Yeah, you look good.
Yeah, it looks-
you do. You look really
Looks
good.
good, yeah.
I'm impressed. You look really good.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Problem. It's like a new camera. I mean,
Is your liver okay? Because you're a little yellow.
I haven't been drinking all month, actually. I'm hasn't helped. Hasn't done anything for me. Actually, I think I feel worse not drinking. So that might be a problem.
That'll happen. I've had a few beers and I feel great.
So is this football field? This is on like the same street. Are these kids like running down the road, chasing this thing to the football field? Is that
no? Like you can see it, Zal. They got their fucking little bikes. They got the baseball card clipped in the fucking spokes. It's making the noise, right? They're all excited.
They just
They said it's only
bikes
half a block away, so like they can see it.
Dan,
like,
we're painting a picture. We're painting a picture.
They're chasing it down.
Chubby
Just
checkers
right.
on the radio.
Yeah.
Fucking like everybody's having a good
They're
time.
on the hunt.
Yeah, the poor kids in the neighborhood are running behind, catching up.
Yeah, that would have been me.
No shoes.
Okay.
So like now they're saying that there's this, they're all drawn to this object, and all of a sudden some of them are like, look to the right. Here's this little like 3 or 4 foot translucent being just chilling, just being like, hey.
Yeah, out in front of
What's up, kids?
right near a house, like on the corner of the house, there is this thing that looks like where the legs should be. Like it is some type of being from like the waist up. Like it looks like it's about the size. They described it as being like about the size of like a 4-year-old, so maybe like 3 or 4
3
feet.
feet tall. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was floating up off the ground, and like where the feet should be, they said it was just this nub. Like it was just like, I don't know, fucking.
Yeah. Like gingerbread
Casper the
feet.
friendly,
Gingerbread,
like Casper the
gingerbread
friendly
man?
ghost or something. I don't know.
Or like a singular nub.
Yeah, singular.
One nub.
Oh, one nub. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's gnarly.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah.
But one of the most
Was this the one too?
memorable
Is this the same one where it's like they said the arms were
No.
split at
Is
the
it-
form? Oh, okay.
I don't think that. I think it's
So
a
this is
different
just the nub
that's
one.
Goro.
Yeah. This is just the one that's just chilling there, and they're like,
one. I guess this is the one that had the belt. Like this one. had a
oh,
belt
that's
on
right.
it.
We've
Okay, yes.
heard a belt like that. I think it was
Yeah. What was the belt one? Was that the?
the Scottish guy. I think it was the Scottish guy.
The Scottish guy.
I mean,
Is
there's
that
been other cases
Is that
where
the
they had some
like
kind of,
Ickley Moore or whatever? Is that the one?
Ilkley Moore, yeah.
No, it's Zapata, I think. Not Zapata.
Oh, Zanfretta.
Zanfretta?
Zanfretta.
Yeah.
No, not Zanfretta.
No, that was
Sorry.
the one where they chased.
Who's the
Voronezh?
cop?
Voronezh?
The Hispanic cop. The Hispanic cop.
Zamora? You're talking Lonnie
Zamora.
Zamora?
Yeah. Oh, Lonnie Zamora.
Yeah.
He did describe belts.
Did you describe belts?
There's been a couple belts because there's also
I'm
that
just
Russian
fucking
one that
calling
came
out
down,
case files here,
right?
boys.
Where they came down in
Keep
the
swinging, man.
Talking
Eventually,
shit.
you fucking crank one.
Well, was it the Voronezh where they came down and they
Voronezh, yeah.
Yeah, I think they had belts.
That was the one when they had. That was the one. I mean,
And
there's
they
a lot of
paralyzed
similarities
people.
with that.
Yeah, a lot of
Definitely the Voronezh.
Yeah.
Had to be.
That's
no
what
other
it-
fucking
that's what
explanation.
that's what it is.
That's
Had
the
to
one.
be.
We could just throw out random names, and Andrew will agree.
We're just sharing our knowledge of UFO case files here.
No, everyone knows that the belt buckle of the entities signals the rank. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure.
And their championship status.
Yeah, dude,
in
it's
the
fucking-
Galactic Wrestling Federation.
The smaller the feet and the bigger the belt buckle, you know
The GWF.
you're in for a treat.
And it's like the thing I love is it's like Zap Brannigan style because there's no pants. That fucking described just belt and shirt.
Well, yeah. Do you think it was just like it just had really tiny legs and it was just like
Oh, it's just
like it just
That's
no,
gut
it's just like
hanging?
the fabric was just hanging over all the way down, but the legs were just like tucked
up. Yeah, that maybe, and that's what gave the
because all the
appearance of it.
uniforms are one size. They're all uniform. Like you can't even if you're super short. So instead of like having it pool at the bottom, they just float. Like
Well, and this thing is like, and it's like, the kids were like drawn to this brilliant light, and all of a sudden they're staring at this fucking nub alien with this belt, and it's it's got some bling on it, and this entity must take notice because he just fucking goes down, grabs it, like kind of giving a little shine to them, like flashing it in their eyes, and they're all kind of stuck in a trance now, looking at this thing's belt buckle, just kind of.
Well, they were already trancing before that. Like maybe
Yeah.
they have some type of hypnotic technology.
Yeah. Listen, I hate to do this, but we got to take a beer break pretty soon here because my costume without the air on has turned into a sauna suit. I might fucking die.
Is the green?
I gotta put a sweater.
What's
on.
the green screen behind you? Is this part of your costume?
No, I was going to use the green screen tonight, and then I wanted to use the alien. The alien's green.
You're not allowed to take
So
that off.
it would have just been dude, I can't lose any more weight this fast. I'm
it's gonna,
Drop
you
my
have
funny
no winter
bones.
weight. You'll have no
Yeah.
winter fat.
I'm gonna
you'll
die.
freeze to death.
All right. Well, we don't want Brandon to get too skinny, so we'll have to take a quick break.
I'll be right back.
all right, we'll be right back.
I'm just sweating my bag off here. Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone that's on your list, all in one spot. Gifts that spark joy, wonder, delight, and that it's exactly what I wanted kind of feeling. They scour the globe for original, handmade, absolutely remarkable things. Somehow they know exactly the perfect gift for every single person you know. Here's a few of my favorite gifts that I found on their site, like Smokey the Bear socks, corporate nonsense generator, holiday cocktail bombs, or Caribou Cocoa Buddies set of 2. What about an acoustic frog amplifying phone speaker? Uncommon Goods has it all. When you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. Many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches, so shop now before they sell out this holiday season. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made right in the US of A. They have the most meaningful, out-of-the-ordinary gifts anywhere. They even have gifts you can personalize. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give back $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice.
To get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/theory. That's uncommongoods.com/theory for 15% off. Or just check the show notes of this podcast. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods. We're all out of the ordinary.
What if I told you weight loss is not about willpower, cutting carbs, or working harder in the gym, but instead comes down to flipping a specific switch in your body, one that helps flush out unnecessary calories? Heart surgeon and nutrition expert Dr. Stephen Gundry is revealing a new, simple, but insanely effective way to help get a slim, energized, and healthy body with no deprivation, restrictions, or fads. MCT Wellness can help you flip that switch yourself from the comfort of your own home. This powerful blend of fat-flushing MCT powders and antioxidant-rich polyphenols is designed to help you unlock your body's fat-burning, energy-producing potential. What's even better is that it's a delicious drink. All you do is add a scoop to water and enjoy. Help unlock your body's potential by going to gundrymd.com/energy and order right now to get up to 53% off your order with a 90-day money-back guarantee. Again, that's gundrymd.com/energy.
All right, that fucking weird thing attached to Braden's gone, sucking his life force.
So hot. I was sweating.
We can risk him becoming less funny.
No, I've already lost.
Yeah, we're already on the border right here. Like, this is the borderline.
Show's on fumes.
Yeah. Listen, I only got so much Ozempic left.
Almost done.
I'm almost out.
So with the entity, Casper, the friendly ghost entity, nailing these kids with whatever, like the reflection off of his belt or something, or whether
nailing these kids.
Oh, hey,
I missed that part of the story. That's fucking horrific.
So as he's
just giving them
his
hip
belt-
thrusts with the belt buckle. They're like, "Oh, what's going on?"
So I don't know, but this seems to like kind of either break the whatever kind of trance that these kids were all in, and whether they were enthralled by the vision, what these objects that had been, planting down on the football field out there, and the kids all break out into just like terrifying, just break into panic, essentially. Just kind of, I just imagine them all like running, in different circles and just like taking off and just running into their separate houses and stuff like this, just down the street, shouting, screaming.
It was super interesting. There was one account where the kids were kind of rallying together when a bunch of them were being hypnotized, and they literally broke out a garden hose and started dousing these kids down to try and like snap them out of their
days. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is like super smart. Like there must have been a Dan in that group.
Well, we got to shock these kids' system. Hit them with the cold hose.
Yeah, right. He didn't have a hose. He had a little fucking fanny pack that he unzipped in a little fucking electric hose came out and he pumped it. Boop, 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 boop.
Like saying Dan was like a baby go gadget fucking
Basically, yeah. Or what's the short round? Or what's the guy from the Goonies?
short round. Oh, Data.
Data Dan.
Data Dan.
I got it.
Yeah, there was at least one of the kids in the group, I guess it was like a 7-year-old boy, seemed to kind of remain transfixed by the object, specifically the one that was landing on the football field, and started to actually walk towards that object while you had some of the other kids, running into, their separate houses, like running to getting their moms or to run outside and kind of go check and stuff like this. Because of course, like they get the parents out there and the parents can't see anything. And the kids are all in this, state of complete terror. And as this kid's, two of the older boys are concerned for their friend and like had to tackle the kid before he could get to what they, judged as too close to this UFO.
Yeah, because there's like these kids that were hypnotized, they were telling them to like climb the tallest tree you could climb, and we'll come back for you later. Right? Like that's what they were. I don't know whether these UFOs were like speaking to them or it was like telepathic or whatever, but like they thought they were going to get picked up by the UFOs, which
they were like at this point, they're like, it's definitely seeming to speaking, especially to this one kid, of being like beckoning him because he is not responding to anything other than, trying to slowly walk towards this thing, not heeding the advice of the friends until they tackle him to the ground. Mm-hmm. It's very strange. And especially that's like the thing I always kind of forget about this is like the age range. Just like some of these older boys are like 14, 15-year-olds. We're not talking
in the 50s. That's like being 30.
Yeah, you're middle age.
You got a full-time job at that age.
You're middle age.
Smoking a pack a day.
These kids are, they're hanging out there. What are they doing there? They must be out of jobs.
They're married, got 2 kids.
One of these, this is when everything kind of goes all kinds of crazy because you're getting descriptions from all the different kids, apparently from all different angles of what's going on. There's descriptions of UFOs or some of these objects like flying through trees, breaking off branches of them. I guess one of them knocked a branch off a walnut tree. Another one flew past like an antenna on top of a roof and also seemed to at the time emit like some kind of ray that they described coming out of this
and it
this
clipped,
object as well.
I had read that it had clipped the antenna so much that the antenna was like whipping boom, 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 like on top of the house, and everyone's like, "Fuck, these kids are obviously fucking freaking the fuck out." And then it's like a 360 onslaught at this point. Like,
yeah, this thing is like everything.
Guys are hanging out, wild stuff right now.
There's another description of one of the kids, I guess, described to see like a disembodied arm.
Oh, like, yeah,
reaching out from nowhere, like coming out of nowhere, just like waving at him or beckoning him.
This is where I thought it was a little fucking mage hand.
Just hanging out. I was like, this is kind of warp sorcery, man. This is the
warp sorcery. That's a great band name. Oh man, that's my favorite one yet.
That's Warhammer.
Seems very like interdimensional.
Yeah, but is there a band called Warp Sorcery?
Like something's pulling, like, and it's just very creepy. It's just beckoning them. Like, where's the rest of the body, right?
Like this whole, like, it feels like they're mounting this like interdimensional attack on Earth. Yeah. And yet they arrive on Earth and start fighting fucking 12-year-olds.
Yeah. This is 100% the hand of chaos. Like, this is what's going on right now. I was like, I'm reading this description of this, what's going on. I'm like, oh yeah, this is just a breach in the immaterium. Like there are never born entities reaching out and beckoning these children.
Dude, this is what happened when the fucking mayor of New York let all the ghosts out of the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Dude, this pandemonium.
Is very fucking it to me.
Like even the arm, like they got close enough to like a description. Like they said it seemed to be, and I mean, this is just from the point of view of like a kid, a point of reference is like a kid, but it had some kind of like riveted armor or something, or protective shielding, which could have been just very much like just, if it's an alien armor or something, it's like it could have been what it is, but they said it looked like some kind of armor shielding on the thing. So either like cool. Something is like reaching through, or
it's cool because a lot of these entities have been described like differently, right? Like we kind of missed it before, but when they first saw these kind of like translucent beings, like I remember hearing they had like diamonds on their face where their nose and stuff would be. And like, then you just have the arm appearing and then you got the fucking Goro motherfuckers with stubs for legs. Like,
yeah. And that's coming up. And this is even just before that, there's another kid apparently who was interviewed by a reporter and he saw what like he described as like a strange man in the field holding two gun-like devices, and it was just like paralyzing like some of his friends. So it's just like
he's blasting the kids, and they're just going down frozen, like freezing.
So anyways, I started blasting, like, you know, it's just like Danny DeVito, just like bang, yeah, just like paralyzing kids, and I'm like, hell yeah, interstellar enlightenment's my Second Amendment, like. But
like the like. If you just take that, you're like, that sounds crazy. But like when you look at all the cases we've talked about, like how many different cases people talk about like them having a stick or something that they just paralyze people with, right? Like they touch them. You know, even the Loveland Frogs have like some sort of paralyzing stick, and
they're using wands, man. Dan said it. It's fucking it's interstellar sorcery.
Yeah.
I mean, it does really start to feel like that in this case because of all the weird shit that happens. Like, it's just like a whirlwind of shit that just starts happening to these kids.
So this is then at the point, like they see this, you know, there's either one group of kids is describing this dual wielding ray gun alien in one area, but the object that's hanging out over the football field, this is when there's an opening that appears in the side of this object, this massive craft. And then out, you know, in, you know, straight up, like, I guess sci-fi fashion. It's like, I imagine fucking smoke and the light and everything coming out here, like, you know, lasers, whatever, fucking
electric guitar.
Yeah.
Like, oh, fuck yeah. Fantasy by Aldo Nova's playing.
As the strangest creature of like these things, because the other ones is like you've got this ghost, which is like Casper the Ghost, and you've got this other dude over here with the two ray guns, and this thing comes out here, and according to the, you know, these young witnesses, the thing that came out of the orb was 3.5 feet tall. It had red eyes and a red mouth, which seemed to kind of be glowing at this point, and then like it was also hovering over the ground because it didn't have like legs. It had these at least four
like tentacles
appendages.
Almost.
So he's a little wizard. These fucking little wizards.
Mm-hmm. The depiction of it is like 4 like basically like gingerbread legs.
Little nubs.
Yeah.
It also had this rounded head, and it seemed to have like these diamond shaped objects embedded in its face. And also it had these, like, its arms weren't exactly just single arms. They were kind of like
it split at the elbow. Like the arm was normal to the elbow, and then it had like 2 sets of forearms and hands.
Oh,
like
I can't tell you how many times I've wished for that exact thing.
Isn't that what is it?
Think how good of
Total Recall.
How good a guitar you could be
like,
with 2 forearms like that, 2 hands. Just you could shred.
Isn't that the guy from Total Recall? Like his arm like split into the
yeah, that's right. Well, no, because this is like 2. It's not 1 hand. It's 2. So they have 2 hands, but like and the elbow.
They come out of the elbow.
It's like 2 forearms coming out of the elbow, and then like
it's fucking super weird.
That would be the worst way of having multiple arms.
Because they're useless. They're still like basically move.
It's only good for certain things, and playing guitar is one of them.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't even get them closer
there's
together.
a couple other things.
I don't know if you could.
Yeah.
It's not like you're stacking them. You don't need that. That's too much hand for you.
Yeah, it's useless.
No, but you could sit on both, like 2 of them at a time.
Oh,
Get
rotate.
Nice numb.
Get a good
Double stranger.
Double stranger. Quad stranger.
Quad stranger.
Quad
there you
stranger.
go. I like it.
The thing about this one is that I thought about as you were talking about like the light refraction and stuff and like bending. Part of me wondered when they're seeing this thing, because it looks so weird in the depictions and you hear about it, is that I wonder if like it doesn't actually have those kind of arms, but it's the same kind of thing. Like whatever light is manipulating is giving it appearance. Like they're almost like they're looking at it through a prism. You know what I mean? Where then objects get like doubled and stuff in it.
Yeah.
Well,
Right,
and
but
you're also, it's a bunch of kids shitting their pants. Everything's going to be more fantastical than it is.
But it's just the where, because it'd be different if it was like 4 arms. You're like, oh, but like 4 arms at the elbow joint, like that's fucking weird. It's a weird description. So then that kind of made me think that like maybe there is some sort of field around this thing, and as they're looking through, it's distorting their vision. So this thing maybe had just.
But why
2
would it
arms.
only double the arms?
It doubled the legs
double
too.
Everything. Did they have
Right?
4 legs too?
But it just maybe it had 4 legs, but it's like maybe just.
You sure, you didn't just have 2 really big dicks?
They said they were just tapering appendages, so it could be, I don't know, it could be dicks. I don't know. It's an alien.
They call me Hammer.
That's my sex tentacle. Like whatever. Yeah. That's the sex appendage. Like, don't shake that hand.
What do you think those I was thinking about those diamonds on their face. I was wondering, you think that maybe that's like a breathing apparatus? Because you think that's how they're breathing on Earth?
Could be.
Or emitting something.
Or what?
Emitting
could be
something?
an indicator. It could be a rank. Could be their rank.
That's how they cast their magic.
I know.
Stones.
Maybe it's a
jewels.
religious thing, right? Religious
Face
thing.
jewels.
Like face jewels, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe this guy was just like punk. It's just that one alien. It's like, fuck you.
Check this
Just
out.
studs. Just like,
Got 4 fucking arms. Woo!
I guess one of the boys is named in the reports. One Ronnie Strickland is the one who claims that specific multi-limbed entity, that creature that's out there with his 4 little arms or whatever, that's the one who spoke to him, whether it was vocally or like telepathically. I'm not 100% sure, but it seems like in this case it would be.
Do we know how old good old Ronnie Strickland was?
I don't think it was mentioned.
I feel like he's the one describing this fucking monster, and they're like, "Can you draw him for us, son?" He starts drawing, and then all of a sudden it's got fucking arms cut over its elbows and shit. My kid does that all the time. I look at this thing and I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" And he's like, "Oh, it's you, Dad." Just like 4 circles and like fucking lines, and it's like that. This kid doesn't know what to
hang that up in the fridge.
He's got diamonds for faces.
You sit him down. You're like, take a look at me. You put it up beside yourself. You're like, this is me.
He's like, exactly.
Yeah. That's how he sees you.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
What year was this?
55.
This is 55. Mm-hmm. What started 2 short years ago?
In 56.
In 53.
I don't know. Are you going to say Star Trek?
War. Some type of
MK Ultra. They dose these kids.
Took these kids.
The kids been dosed.
But here's the problem. The problem is some of the stuff that happens after that continues happening. That would say I would go against the dosing.
I don't know.
Because so this thing tells Ronnie, it goes, hey, it's like hacking it dark. Yo, you want to come with us? And Ronnie's like, yeah. And he's like, all right, see that tree over there? You climb it. And again, the ship's on the fucking ground. And he's like hacking a dart. And he's like, yeah, you can come with us. You climb that tree. We'll pick you up. 15 minutes.
15 minutes. There's a specific, it's a specific time in here where it's like 15 minutes.
And like Ronnie's just fucking like drooling, like in this fucking daze. And this thing's like, all right, 15 minutes. Gets in his fucking orb and just shoots away.
Yeah. This is way before, this is before Stranger Danger.
Right? And he just fucks off. Yeah, it's like, you could have just walked him on the ship right now. Like, what's the 15? What do you got to do for 15 minutes that you got to come back and pick this kid up?
Something tells me Ronnie's dad went out for a pack of smokes one day and never came back. So he's going to be back in 15 minutes.
So
that's where this all comes from.
Like he wants to, so Ronnie, like in this trance, just fucking walks up to this tree and begins to climb it. Like just in a daze, begins to climb it. And this is where one of the reports where I read that they were like shooting a hose up at him to try to like get him to snap out of it, to like wake him up from it. And at one point they like hit him with the hose and he kind of like, fell out of the tree. But instead of falling, he just like fucking Looney Tunes with a fresh baked apple pie, just kind of floated along and then landed on the rooftop like nearby. just came to a rest.
Yeah.
Right? And all the kids are like, holy shit. And the orb comes back for Ronnie as he's laying on the roof. And the orb sits there for a little bit close to the tree and then fucks off. Right? Because obviously Ronnie's not there. Like he said, he's like, this is a short window, kid. It's like that guy who picked up Walter White, right? Trying to change his identity. He's like, if you're not there, we're leaving. That's what happened.
That's our second episode in a row referencing Breaking Bad. You on a Breaking Bad?
Watched it
On a binge?
I just binged it.
Well, listen, the guy's got a perfect impression.
Perfect impression.
So he's got to fucking keep bringing it because he just wants to use his impression again.
Walter. That's great.
Walter. Sounds better, even better this time.
Yeah.
He's been practicing.
Yeah.
Has been sitting in front of the mirror.
Walter. All morning.
So, one of them. So, Ronnie Strickland apparently, like, he managed to get, like, off this tree, but he was also, like, on the edge of a roof. Like, he's, like, I guess he was, like, near the tree, but he was also on the roof of, like, one of the houses.
Well, they said he, like, fell. One of the descriptions was, like, almost like a leaf when he fell and just kind of drifted or levitated onto the nearby roof.
So he kind of, like, woo, woo, woo. And then
so they don't want these kids to get hurt. By the sounds of it. Well, one kid gets a fucking concussion, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, well, Ronnie. So Ronnie, all the kids are like yelling at Ronnie.
No shit, he's describing things with fucking forearms.
Ronnie, they're yelling at Ronnie because he's now on this roof of this house. And they're like, hey, like, Ron, wake up, Ronnie. Ronnie stands up and just fucking yeets off the roof.
Just like,
woo! He's like, aim for the bushes. No bushes. Head first.
You're not taking me alive.
The kids said he landed like a torpedo head first into the fucking ground. Right?
Just like, I could just, like, he's just got his arms and legs together. Just like, and just like, lawn darts into the fucking ground.
Luckily, they're made of rubber at that age.
Oh, dude, he folded it in half off the ground.
Yeah, folded in half, but bounced right up.
He didn't. I imagine he hit stiff, just boop, right? Because he's laying there, and they go, and the kids are like, "Ronnie, you okay?" And he's just like, he's just like, "Where am I? What happened?" They're like, "You were climbing a fucking tree, looking for aliens."
Ronnie,
like,
you have a brain injury.
He's like, "What?" Dude, guys like Ralph Wiggum.
He's got amnesia. Like, he's fucking.
And they say, like, once he wakes up, he has no recollection of what just happened. Like, all the stuff that they just watched, go on, him reaching out to try to board this UFO that was trying to pull him, pluck him out of a tree. Doesn't remember any of it. And I'm also thinking in my head, I'm like, no recollection after you take a massive head injury. Like, that's not surprising.
Dude, let's just say it was like a standard rancher house. Like, you're still 12 feet off the ground? That's a big drop.
They're just like head first
into the dirt. Dude, I would laugh so hard if that was in my neighborhood. It was one of the neighborhood kids. You'd first go like, "Oh shit!" And then as soon as he was okay,
he's like, "Why is he okay?" Then you start laughing.
Yeah, you're like, "Holy shit! That was the best thing I ever seen." Don't do that again.
But after Strickland's fall and after he his quick recovery, everything stops. All of the activity that had been happening, all of the objects, all of the creatures, these these appearances or whatever, like, it all stops. Just suddenly, like, cuts off, like somebody flipped a switch. Apparently,
they've seen his fall. They're like, "Whoa, we're out."
Yeah,
these creatures are ridiculous.
We're not having fun anymore.
Yeah. This is like, UFOs are like, "Oh man, we better get out of here." Like, after you see that kid like take a header off the thing.
It's hilarious to me because for whatever reason, I just picture that these UFOs are like, we're mounting our invasion. Like, this is a total war. And when he sounds like, it sounds pretty like crazy. Everything's appearing, disappearing. They're shooting ray guns. They're fucking trying to hypnotize people. And it's just a bunch of fucking 7 to 15-year-olds running around screaming. And then the aliens are obviously like, we got to get out of here. We got to retreat. It's too much. We're being overwhelmed.
We've lost.
We've lost. Mayday, mayday. Like,
ineffective.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but for like this case, like for the thing I thought about, I was like 100% what we got here we got a rogue psyker on our hand. Ronnie Strickland, psychic powerhouse, takes a head injury. Like his powers are manifesting. He jumped off the roof. Boom, hit the thing. It's like a Tetsuo from Akira situation.
And then
It's
everything
like,
stops.
And then everything stops.
So he's projecting this, and then when he takes a header, it just turns off.
Turns off.
Because
Maybe the aliens were coming to intervene in this. Like maybe this kid's the fucking new Dark Phoenix.
Well, maybe it's
like,
one of
"We're
those
gonna get rid
things
of
where
him."
it's because it's like, man, kids have vivid imaginations. I mean, listen, I remember fucking jumping on a trampoline with Zell. We were fucking in the middle of a WWE ring, tag team champions of the world. Of
course.
You know what I mean? Like that was real. It happened. We did it together.
Nothing had ever been more real.
Yeah. And it's like, so it's like, but imagine now this kid has like a superpower where his imagination is so strong that it's affecting the other kids can see it.
Oh, it's mass hysteria when
Right?
they're all fucking going nuts and getting each other riled up and hyped up.
But it's all him. That would make the most sense to me. Then as soon as he's the one that take the header. The only thing that doesn't make sense is that
yeah, he's got all these kids riled up. They're all playing. Then he falls and hurts himself. So, I won't play anymore. It's over. It's done. We're not playing anymore. Take me to my mom. Ready to go.
well, there was a group that came out, the Borderland Science Research Association.
Amazing name.
Yeah, they came apparently a couple days after to like interview all the kids because like the parents were concerned because the kids were so shook and like traumatized,
They're like
from this
traumatized for
event.
days.
Yeah, but they,
And,
like they didn't want to be concerned while it was happening. We don't see anything. Fuck off.
You know, I did listen to another show where they were like, oh, there's no way 8 kids would keep a lie all together. And I'm like, obviously they didn't have abusive parents, right? Because I'm like, they 100%. I was like, I got a couple lies going on with my brother that lifelong. You know what I mean?
Listen,
you're like,
they were
"Can't
fucking
tell." Well,
playing.
we can never tell.
These kids were having a fucking great time. They're jumping off roofs. We've all done it. Having a fucking riot. Then there goes fucking little old Ronnie Strickland. Bails the landing, lands on his fucking head, gets a concussion.
Do a flip.
Like, listen. So they fucking freaking out, and one kid comes up with an idea to concoct this giant plan that we were invaded by aliens because they couldn't think of anything else. And the only kid that doesn't know is the kid that got hurt.
The only thing that's tough for me with that is like, they don't break the kids. Like the kids are like, their stories all I'm like, that's the one part for me
You
where
don't
I'm
have
like,
a 50s dad.
yeah, it's true. That's the
Right?
thing,
You're gonna
right?
get your
Like
ass
fear
whooped.
do that, but it's like none of these kids break. They all have like, you feel like one kid would be like,
You still got lies you haven't told Rob.
yeah,
100%.
Oh, 100%.
That you'll never admit to. Yeah,
Oh,
me too.
100%. I've got lies that I've had going so long from my parents that they're now truths. They're not
Pretty
even
sure
lies anymore.
I think he thinks that his fucking his radio malfunctioned to go to Silk FM. We had nothing to do with it.
Oh yeah.
We had nothing to do with
Anytime he turned his back.
Glitch. It's weird. For some reason, whenever Nickelback comes on, it just randomly switches to fucking Silk FM.
No, what about I'm more leaning towards now after doing so many alien cases that it's all a simulation, and whoever's programming it is some type of video game, and they just fuck with people. And they have the ability to program it so only certain characters in this reality can see what they're doing, and they fuck with people, and they pretend that make it seems like you're abducted, implant memories, and then people are like, you're crazy. And there's this, and it happened to them. In their mind, it happened. It's completely real, but no one else seen it because they're not privy to that
Whatever
information.
code.
That code, that information from the simulation. The ET is just some gamer. He's just fucking with us.
Man, well, the weird thing is I'm like, when you look at this in its entirety, like, because there's so many parallels. The craziest thing for me in this one is there's so many individual parallels to other cases that make you go like, it's weird that they like, it's weird they would say this. It's weird they would say this. It's weird they would say this because these line up with other things and they all happen together. It makes me think that, you know, I'm like, were they fucking hallucinating this? And this is some crazy hallucination, but like, what could they possibly have gotten into or on to have all these experiences all at one time?
We're in the middle of a giant UFO flap, though, aren't we? Like, it's super common in fucking like
55,
comic books, yeah, and like fucking magazines, all that type of shit. Like everybody's talking about this kind of stuff. So it's in their minds. I mean, I guess the only thing you'd be more scared of is the Russians, I guess, at this point in time. But
no, I like what Zell's I think I'm maybe on board more with the simulation hypothesis. Well, the other thing is maybe it's like interdimensional, where it's like at some point where these things are pushing through, or even, maybe there was an intergalactic battle on Earth there, and that's just, we're getting some stone tape theory, right? And they're like,
they're seeing distant memories.
Distant memories of an ancient battle between the fucking Glorlocks and the plebe sacks.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because like this happened, no one else could see it, only the kids. It ended, yeah, they were scared for some days, but that was it. The story ends. There's no like follow up. No one wrote a book. No one really investigated after. It was just like, these kids are a little crazy, or something happened, and that was it.
This event kind of just like, it serves as like a footnote on a lot of UFO cases, where it's kind of just one of those one offs that you get, and a lot of those kind of compilated.
Kermit Douglas went on to be a pretty high ranking member in the military, and he died in 1978. So like he was tracked, like, and then passed away in 1978. So he couldn't have been. Maybe he was the 15 or 14-year-old. He was one of the older boys.
So he died only 20 years later.
Yeah,
he was young.
He went on to serve in the military and be a quite high ranking, from what I read.
But he never. That was it. No more aliens. No more nothing.
Yeah, nothing
publicly, at least.
Again, yeah.
No. It's just, it's the weird thing to me is I'm like, okay, they're all lying. They're just like, they mixed so many other UFO cases. Some of them hadn't even happened yet, all into one story. Like, it's just so it's a very interesting 3 hours to me. I'm like, whoa, that it all happens. And there's so many things in this one where you kind of like, you're like, this sounds like this, and this sounds like this. Because Kelly Hopkinsville was the big one that happened in 1955 before this. I don't know how widespread it was, but if these kids aren't describing little green goblins, right? And you would think that if they were inspired by that, that would have been the biggest story in this time. But they don't describe anything like the Kelly Hopkinsville encounter,
which are very distinct. Like,
other than the kid taking the header and seemingly just floating, right? He just doesn't really get hurt.
Speaking of the Hopkinsville, the goblins, the Kentucky goblins, that actually went down a little rabbit hole with that. I guess in this area, there's tons of caves and stuff, and there's tons of stories, just footnotes, no real documented, no real evidence, but stories of goblins all over this area. Like they come out of the caves.
Dude, which one, the Hopkinsville one?
Yeah, like those little goblins.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I had someone that called in the Cosmic Channels, and they just wanted to pitch that idea. They're like, I don't think it was that case necessarily was aliens at all, and I think it gets pushed into aliens, and it was cryptids, and they live in the caves. Yeah.
Like, it's like the Descent, those fucking evolved little maniacs, and
they come out. They come out from time to time. Yeah. And I was like, that's fucking interesting, because there's nothing in that Kelly Hopkinsville that would make you think otherwise. You just assume.
Well, they got shot and there was no damage, but they knew they hit him, so they thought like they were wearing some type of bulletproof vest or.
It's got that thick goblin skin.
Just goblin skin, real thick.
Yeah.
Anyways, I thought that's a cool thing. Like, it's just fucking goblins.
Yeah, goblins in Kentucky,
that's one of the theories of those guys. Like within, you have these appearances of these strange little goblin-like creatures. Like, are they aliens, or are they're already here? Like, they live underground.
The thing to me is, I mean, with this one, with the paralyzing sticks, the belt buckles and stuff, like some of these the popular case files that we've done that have these similarities of Voronezh and stuff haven't happened yet. So they're like, it's almost like these kids make up, these very similarities that other people go on to witness later on in other cases all around the world. That's what I found was interesting. And it's like, it's almost like they had a mix of like a little bit of everything in this, for some reason in California in this 3-hour period, just everything kind of descended. And it's like, maybe there was like some sort of interdimensional event going on. And that's why they saw so many different lights. And maybe the lights they saw were rival rival UFOs.
It's just one of those like it's like it revs up and then just suddenly stops. Where it's like they have this one object and then it's multiple, and then
it's flashing lights. So maybe it was like threatening lights at each other.
Yeah, and then just everything breaks out where you're like, oh, now there's appearances of all these entities on the ground, and a couple of them that just and they're all kind of different because they're not all like at Kelly Hopkinsville. They're all
uniform,
distinct. Yeah, they're all uniform, like distinct, but they're all uniform in like their form and their body and shape and everything like that. But these ones are all quite different. Like a four-arm guy is really different from double ray gun blasting dude. Like,
yeah. So like 3 to 4 entities, 3 very exotic and 1 possibly humanoid with the pistols
and the floating arm. The floating arm, like
the old paralyzers.
Yeah.
That's why it's a video game.
That's the best like piece of imagery in my head. It's just like zapping little kids, just like it's like the guy in the Billy Madison with the hose, like spraying the kids. Like, you all right, man?
Well, they're just like,
yeah, I'm good.
They just turn. They turn, and there's just a guy with 2 like pistoleros standing there, just like frozen,
zapping kids is like in mid stride, is this they like just face plant, just like like just laughing, just like
it's very strange. Very
sure,
strange.
It was terrifying for the kids
event.
at the time, but it's just like part of me is like, man, it's really funny.
I would have loved to seen. I mean, this is such a dated one, but I would have loved if you got one of these people that were still alive, that came forward and was like, yeah,
Well, you think some of these kids were pretty young, so you'd think they would be alive.
They would be alive. They'd be old in their 70s now. But
if they're 55. They're born like they're 4 or 5 years old. Yeah, 70s,
70s, 80. Right. So they're possibly. So, I mean, it'd be interesting to go back and because I wonder if they especially if you're one of the younger kids, if you would go back and be like, did I actually see that? Did that actually happen? Like, because you were so young. But it's nevertheless, you have, 8 or 9 kids all describing the exact same thing to their parents and then later to the authorities and people who come and came in to research this because they were contacted because of the nature of these claims. On your point with the MK Ultra, like low dosed LSD, maybe could that have been?
Kids are drinking out of the hoses, man. They just dosed the water supply. Kids are drinking out of hoses and shit.
It does say they were playing with the hoses and shit before, playing in the garden. Is there anything like soil?
It's in California.
In the soil, is there anything, Andrew? Do you know if like the soil's tainted or something? Just walking on a barefoot could cause hallucinations or anything like that. I can't think of anything that.
Just walking barefoot. Yeah, I mean LSD can absorb through your skin, but
I'm reaching.
Yeah, it's a reach. It's MK Ultra all the way.
Well, hallucinogens could be like, I don't know. It can grow on like wheat, or barley. Like it's a weird fucking.
Yeah, I remember that when we went to the
with ergot. They call it ergot or whatever. Ergot. So there is stuff.
We know that MK Ultras already exists at this point in time. They're dosing them. They dose the kids.
Why the kids though? Just to see
how it'll happen.
Just to see how it happened.
Why dose guys and watch them have sex with prostitutes?
So they could. No, I'm not going to say
blackmail.
Who knows? It's
interesting.
Unresolved case.
Let us know what you think. Yeah, let us know what you think. Where does your brain go to on this one? Because it's a fucking strange one. Let us know.
Hell yeah. All right, this week we do have a couple new Patreon supporters. They went to alientheorist.com. They clicked the support tab. Hopefully they did it on a desktop and not on their phone. We got a top tier supporter. He goes by Nick Fell. Thank you very much for supporting the show. And we got Ben Pickle and Kyoto Walad.
Yeah.
Booyah.
Oh.
Hell yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay. I saw Kyoto in Discord. That's the best. One of the best perks you get.
Discord. Join us.
Discord.
It's true.
Coming up. If you're messaging us on Patreon, Instagram, or whatever, we get to it when we get to it. Sometimes it gets flooded. Discord, easy. You hit us with a little tag, comes right to our phone.
Except for Andrew.
We usually pop in like a genie that's been summoned by Robin the Lamb.
I talk to people all the time on Discord.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have your unread messages still from before?
Oh, yeah. I don't look at the messages. But if you say I'll
If you
message
tag
you
him,
for
he'll
sure.
message you.
Yeah, 100%. If you inbox me, I probably would not.
But as we always say at the end of these things, keep those eyes on the sky.